Welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UKOCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
Ian, my friend, and I can't speak no louder because I'm made up with cold. Welcome to the Swift Half. How are you?
How are you doing, Alan? You know, it feels like ages since we last talked.
Feels like ages since we last on Swift Half. We talked to the weekend, but saying that though, we were a little bit like ships in the night at the weekend at IROX, weren't we? Because you ran the morning and then went and got changed and that, and I ran, and it was like, I think we had about an hour of, even probably less than an hour of actual talking in a whole day together.
Yeah, you're probably right, because by the time I'd got back from the hotel, it was, about half an hour to your race, and then by the time you'd finish your race, we were about to turn out the lights, so we kind of had to just call it, and it's weird on these events. Is this what it's like to be you, Alan, where you go to events and you just get pulled in every which way?
Yeah, it is sometimes. I don't get it as much now because there's not as many events up north. So a lot of them are down south, aren't the OCR events? But when we had the massive influx, you know, we had the Reapers, the Airfield Anarchies, and everything that was happening up north. I couldn't. Everywhere I went, it was like, oh, come over here, you know, and talk. And everyone would stop you. Wendy used to laugh and joke that once I'd finished running, I would literally take me 3 hours to get from the finish line to the car park, because I would be talking to everyone. And I was a bugger for it as well. I would actually do some of the talking as well. It wasn't just everyone coming to me. I would be going and saying hi to other people.
Well, I suspect your experience was slightly different to mine. I was wearing a high vis, so I was being asked where those bathrooms were.
You wasn't. I know that a couple of our crew that was out there, give it a quick shout out to them as well. We had Jen out there, so we'll give a shout out to Jen, because I don't think we gave a shout out to Jen on the HXR on the day, but also Will, Claire and Michelle. I know that someone actually went up to Michelle, a random person, and because she had the UKHXR one, said to her, I love your podcasts. And she was like, let's do more of them. A random person. Obviously, they didn't know who Michelle was, but because she got the HXR bib on, and that tells us that we're actually going somewhere with this stuff, Ian.
It does, although I do have to question, are we convinced that they were a fan of the fitness racing podcast, or does Michelle actually have a true crime podcast that she does that we're not aware of?
Now, that would be really good. They recognise their voice purely from a true crime podcast.
Or it might not be true crime. It might be a comedic one. You know, I was researching podcasts, and apparently the most popular ones, true crime, comedy, I think news, and then I think it is sports.
Wow. I wonder if, I guess true crime's good. A lot of people do listen to sports, but I do think people want a little bit of relaxation listening. As I said the other week, I got into a true crime one. And I'm waiting for the next edition to come out because I quite enjoyed it, listening to a true crime one.
Well, the one I'm currently in my rotation amongst everything else is called Scamfluencers, which is really quite a good one, and much more professionally produced than anything we give out. But yeah, it's quite a good one, and it's about, well, I guess it is true crime. It's just scams, but scams by people who are on Instagram and that kind of thing, who've kind of like lived. You know, they're minor celebrities who've committed crimes. And yeah, it's quite interesting. But I was thinking, Alan, maybe, I don't think we can do true crime. We just can't.
Can't do true crime.
Maybe we could give this comedy thing a go. I don't know.
I've actually got a joke. I listened to a very, very good joke today. Do you want to hear my joke that I listened to?
Go on then, Alan. We've gone right off the rails. Welcome to the UKOCR podcast, talking about all things obstacle racing. What's your joke?
Right, so this is not my joke. I got this off Rock Radio today, and it made me laugh. So over in Texas, there's a cowboy, an old cowboy. He's in his 80s, and he walks into this barber's, and he's all wrinkly. And he says to this barber, he says, I haven't had a good shave. Do you think you could give me a shave, a proper good shave? And this barber says, well, I've got the perfect thing for you. The closest shave you're ever going to have. He says, here's a ball, put it in your mouth. So this cowboy puts this ball in his mouth, sticks his cheek out, and of course it stretches his cheek, so he gets the best shave ever. And afterwards, the cowboy goes to the barber. He says, that was absolutely amazing. Best shave I have ever done. But I want to ask you a question. Barber says, yeah, what's your question? He says, what if I had a swallowed ball? Barber says, not a problem. Just bring it back in a couple of other days like other people do.
Oh my God, that's terrible. Oh dear. I was really worried that would go to a place which would get us cancelled. I'm glad it's just good old-fashioned toilet humour.
I just thought it was really funny. I was actually chuckling when I was walking to work this morning when I heard that one. So yeah, thank you to Rock Radio for that.
I'm not going to thank him. Anyway, Alan, what are you drinking tonight?
Courtesy of Mr. Matt Rigby. I don't know what he got you. I know he probably got you something as well. Matt Rigby always loves when he sees us. He always brings us presents. Big thank you to Matt Rigby. He brought me some Faith by I want to say Northern Monk Brewery, and it was really, really nice. And I was going to save it for tonight. However, it was that nice, I've drank them. So thanks, Matt Rigby. But you also brought us some Athletic Brewing Run Wild IPA. And I looked at this and I thought, absolutely brilliant. And then I find out it's that alcohol-free rubbish. But it does taste nice, Ian. I say alcohol-free rubbish. It does taste nice. It's got a nice fruity taste to it. So, yeah, cheers, Matt. Thank you very much.
And I'm also going to thank Matt because, unlike you, I didn't drink all my beers. He got me some Northern Monk Hazy, which I still need to try out. But he also got me an Athletic Brew. He got me Upside Down, which is my favourite. So thanks, Matt, for actually paying attention and getting us that. And I don't know about you, Al. I do like the Athletic Brewing stuff. And Sophia, a landlord of this establishment, replacement landlord, when we met her in America, she brought all different types of Athletic Brewing. You won't believe how many they have over there.
Well, I'm just going to take your word for it, Ian, because it's alcohol-free, so I'm not going to go.
Yeah, but by American standards, it's quite heavy stuff.
It does actually taste all right. I've got to admit, if I was going to go alcohol-free, and I do sometimes, I do tend to have a month every now and then, when I come right off the bat. I do tend to drink Coke a lot. I probably would go for something like this. What are the calories like on alcohol-free? I don't know what the calories are like compared to normal beer, because it really is the calories in normal beer, isn't it?
I think they're usually around about less than 100. Just check the can. I'm sure it says it on it.
I've never even thought about that. Alan, why don't you just check the can?
On this, it's only 45 kcals.
86. Oh, that's all right. That's not bad, that.
No, although quite a bit of sugar, actually. This is it got 6.4 grams of sugar.
And this is comedy for you, by the way, listeners. We're talking sugar and calorie content. So what about fat? This has got 0 grams of fat in it. 1.4 grams of carbohydrates. So if I were going to carb up before a long run, I'd have to drink a hell of a lot of these.
Of which is sugar? How many is sugar?
6.4.
Yeah, it's about the same. And yeah, it's a bit of cheat, that saying there's no fat in it, but there is 6 grams of sugar, which if you don't use becomes fat. But anyway,
yeah.
Let's. Well, someone at work is very much on a health kick because it's January. And fair play to them, they've lost a lot of weight by cutting down on what they're eating and cutting down on drinking. And I might take up drinking more, Alan, so I can give it up to lose weight.
That's not bad. There's a lot of people do, fads in January, isn't there? But don't carry it on. I know my two buddies who I run with, Rob's done every mile, so he's done red January. Jamie's done dry January. But it shocked me last night when I went running with him. They're going to continue it into February, which I've got to take my hat off to them because a lot of people just do it and then stop.
That's fair enough. Although, to be fair, January is 460 days, whereas February is 28 days. So they're not really carrying on that long.
Just another 4 weeks, not long.
Just another 4 weeks. Should we get onto the notes?
Yeah. Do we have notes this week? We must have some notes. I know I've put 2 on, I think. 2 for our 2 listeners is what I've put on. So shall we go into my little bit of news from this week, which I actually appeared on another podcast at the weekend, which goes out. If you listen to this on a Friday, it went out yesterday.
You mean you went on to another podcast?
I was actually invited on. Well, I want to turn around and say I probably invited myself onto it. in one way or another. But yeah, I went onto the Wild Runners podcast, which we recorded Sunday night, I believe.
Haven't we already been on the Wild Runners podcast?
Yeah, you have. Yeah, with me, and we talked about OCR and everything else. But I talked purely about Overload and the Farmyard Jam. So they have got exclusive news on Farmyard Jam. They're breaking exclusive news before we're breaking it, Ian.
Can't you just tell us what it is?
Well, I can, because it went out yesterday.
Awesome. Actually, no, let's not do that. If you want to hear the exclusive news, go and listen to Wild Runners.
Yeah, and we'll tell you what it is next week anyway. But yeah, go listen to the Wild Runners. They need the hits. It is exclusive news. A lot of people are going to like it. For Farmyard Jam, a lot of people are going to like it. It's going to make it a little bit more accessible to a lot more people. So go and listen to Wild Runners podcast.
Fantastic. And if you've listened to Fitness Racing podcast this week, you have heard about mine and Alan's incident, shall we say, at High Rocks Manchester. Yeah. I was going to say it didn't go to plan, but it went to predictions, I guess. But yeah, go and have a listen. We're not going to cover too much, but there has been a lot of High Rocks news, hasn't there?
High Rocks, it just seems to be all of a sudden, they must have been storing it up. So as soon as that Manchester ended, it was like, right, let's release everything.
Exactly. And what we didn't actually cover on the Fitness Racing podcast was the results of and the podiums. And do you have the results by any chance, Alan? Because I know you might give him these.
Do you know, I did actually have them earlier on, but I thought, no, Ian will actually bring these up for us. But I know where they will be. They will definitely be on our UKHXR one.
They will be. No, they are. They're, I think, the third poster. But they'll also be on that. I've got to give credit to High Rocks. Their results that they put out are really, really good. You know, they're very easy to navigate, very easy to look back. The only thing I don't really like about them is after a year, you still have the basic results, but all the placings and that disappear. So you have how well someone's done, but it's sometimes hard to find out what race they did it in. And yeah, that's an issue for me sometimes doing research. So, Alan, have you got the results?
I've got them, yeah. So, Felicity Cole in the women's took the gold, silver. Carolina, is it Messer?
It's Carolina Silver.
Oh, sorry, silver. Because I've got the IG post here. This is where I'm going from. And then bronze was Liv Lukasiewicz.
Yeah, Olivia Lukasiewicz. I can never say her name right.
Men's. See, now men's, you've completely thrown me because you put Elation Fitness Training.
Which is his IG handle. If you click on it, it takes you straight to his name.
Graham Halliday. I get that. I knew that. Afrin Humphreys in silver and Harry Thompson in bronze, sorry. But how come Harry Thompson's not got an IG link?
Because I couldn't find Harry Thompson on IG. If anyone knows if he has an IG, let me know. But seriously, you put Harry Thompson into IG, you can't find it. Ironically, I do have a photo of him because we snapped a photo of him, I think, at Birmingham. So I was going to use it for this little podium thing I've done for the ladies, but I'd reached out to, I think, Afan Humphreys in second and just said, oh, can I use a picture of you? Because I don't really like, if I don't know them and they're not really that well known, I don't like using their personal IG photos. So if I can't find them on High Rocks or wherever, I'll reach out to them and I'll ask. But yeah, I couldn't find. Well, I could find pictures, but I was waiting for him to get back. He never got back in time, so I just literally put a picture of Graham on because he said, yeah, it was fine.
I think it's good to actually go out and ask someone if you can use actually their photos. There's nothing worse, and one person will get this. There's nothing worse than cropping someone else's photos and using it to promote your own business.
I agree. Like I said, if there's public photos or if I've snapped a photo or they're, like I'll say, in the public eye and I know them, I'll use their photos. Yeah. But if I've never met them, I just think it's nice form just to reach out and just double check. But
definitely,
that's not to say you have to do it that way. That's just the way we tend to if we can. So that was that. High Rocks Miami, Alan?
This is a beach one, isn't it? So we released this the other week. We got what can I say? We got a press release out. There's a press release on our website. High Rocks on a beach, Ian. How good does this sound?
It does sound really, really good. Except it's in Miami in April. I think it's April. I want to say April.
Yeah. So it's not going to be too hot if I'm right, in Florida, April, May is a good time to go. I've been in May twice, and although it's been hot, it's not been what I would call super hot.
It'll probably be close to the hundreds.
That's not super hot, is it, though? What's that in degree in Celsius?
About 30-ish.
Yeah, so that's not super hot.
No, exactly, Alan. And you've done a High Rocks now, so you know you don't sweat at all doing a High Rocks.
Zero sweating whatsoever. I actually felt sorry for anyone that was going to go on the sled pull, because I'm sure the carpet where I was stood was absolutely dripping wet. It shocked me that they didn't go around and roll it up and screw it out with the amount of sweat that was pouring out of me doing that.
My favourite picture of that, and I think it was Will who took it, was you sat down almost like doing an OCR trying to do the sled pull, because in OCR we sit down. What did the guy come and say to you, by the way? Because the judge came over.
Yeah, he turned around and said, just be careful that your feet don't go across the line. Because my heels were right on the front line. So he came over to me and said, just be mindful your feet don't go across the line. Well, I guess they were attempting, because as I was pulling the rope, my body was going forward at the same time as the sled was coming towards me. My body was probably going further forward than the sled was, if I'm honest.
Like that scene out of Lady and the Tramp with the spaghetti. You're just going to meet in the middle.
Yeah. I was trying to do it hand over hand. I thought if I sat down, because I was at the other end and I was stood up, and I did do a couple of hand over hand. And I thought I can do this, I've got a bit of strength. I thought I can do this, but I thought I can't do it stood up. You know what I mean? So I thought if I sit down and brace myself, I might have got a better leverage, but no, it didn't work.
No,
Stand back up.
No, stood back up and got through it. But I've joked about the temperature, but this High Rocks Miami does sound really cool, because it's going to happen in the middle of a music festival as well. So it would be like Airfield Anarchy.
See, festival atmosphere. But that's what IROX is. IROX is a festival atmosphere. I felt very much like it were a festival atmosphere. Wouldn't it be good if they had like a proper live band at one end?
Actually, how cool would it be if that's what they did, in that they got rid of most of the stuff, most of the equipment, and turned it into a nightclub at, say, I don't know, about midnight, and everyone can come back and just hang out with a DJ in that.
Oh, yeah. Midnight. How long would it take? I guess it would take a couple of hours to move all the stuff, though.
Yeah, least. you could leave. I guess what you need to move is the stuff that people could harm themselves touching. Yeah, so you could probably leave like the barriers and stuff like that down, but it would be like the sleds, stuff you don't want drunk people to touch.
Yeah. You could. I guess there could be an option there to move things. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be. So that's High Rocks Miami, closer to home. As we're recording this, it's been out a few days, but High Rocks Birmingham has been announced as the first event next year. So that's in October. By year, I mean 2023. High Rocks does this strange seasons thing. So they follow football seasons. Yeah. So you can now, as we're recording this, you can't, but you can, as you're listening to this, you can sign up to that. And it probably will sell out. So be quick on that. But did you see this? Back for the first 24 hours, it was gyms only.
I did see something, only because I just quickly glanced at it, but I didn't read it in full. I'm going to be right honest and say I didn't read it in full. But I did see something about 24-hour gyms only. So does that mean it's a 2-day event?
No, it means that for the first 24 hours, only their affiliate gyms had access to booking tickets.
Oh, right. Oh, that's interesting.
So almost like, I don't know, what you got, O2, do O2 rewards, and you can get advanced access. So gyms had advanced access. And I think that's it's one of the nice things to reward the affiliate gyms. And it doesn't really cost High Rocks anything.
Yeah. So, do you have to be an affiliate of that gym to get it, or is it just a link that gets sent out to them? So if it's just a link, could that link be forwarded to someone else? Just a thought.
I don't know for sure, but potentially, and yes, I guess that could be forwarded to other people. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's only for 24 hours anyway. What are the chances of mass folding of that?
Yeah. How many do you think they'll have sold out? 50%? 50% of tickets?
I don't. As you're recording this, no, probably I don't know, maybe 25% ish, give or take. It won't sell out overnight. People, because the hype train is behind it, and we see the ratings of fitness racing podcasts, so we're very aware of where the audience is. I think people were worried it was going to sell out in like 24 hours, but it won't. But it wouldn't surprise me if it sold out before the London event in at the end of April.
It wouldn't surprise me if it sold out within a couple of weeks. I think the hype's there. I think the affiliate people will jump on it, and especially because it's just gone straight after a one event. You're always looking for the next one, aren't you? And people will have already booked up for London and Manchester again and that. And Glasgow, because is it Glasgow next week, isn't it?
Glasgow's next week. You can't book for Manchester yet. London is mostly sold out. I think Glasgow's got a few tickets, but honestly, Alan, would you fancy? I know some people are, but given how sore you were, would you go on and sign up for Glasgow straight away?
No. I think I've probably said off air that I'm now focusing on my running. So I'm not going to sign up for another IROX until after my 100 miler. And I want to give it a proper shot. So I'm going to sign up one where they get about 3 or 4 months training in to make sure I want to complete it. And I'm not moving down categories. Once I'm up there, I'm staying in that, right? Whenever I do it, if I'm still doing them when I'm 60 odd, I'm still going to be trying to run pro at that age.
And you have to compete against Peter Kelly, and you've no chance.
No chance whatsoever. He absolutely smashed it this weekend.
He really
absolutely dominated it.
He really, really did. Well, what's funny is that Michelle took a picture of him on the podium that I've sent to him, and no one else is on the podium. I know I'm not sure if that's because they left or they were that embarrassed that he was so far ahead and we didn't bother.
I think he was that embarrassed. When I ran pro, though, there was someone in pro that was 60 plus.
Wow. Just. But then again, we've said this, and George said it. You're getting real high standard of athletes at any age doing it. The last bit of High Rocks news, and it's kind of High Rocks adjacent. I don't want to call it High Rocks news, but an athlete. I'm not actually going to say which athlete it is. If you want to know, message us. But they want to go to the Chicago event, and they've set up a GoFundMe to raise money for it.
Ooh, this is the old OCR way. This is what people in OCR what I want to say we used to be, and I'm going to probably upset a few people here, but wanted to be elites and couldn't afford to do it, did. I don't think any of the real elites did it, but they set up GoFundMe page. I'm not a fan of it, Ian, if I'm honest.
I'm definitely conflicted because on one hand, it just feels a bit icky, doesn't it? Because there's plenty of other things. And this particular athlete has no actual reason to go to Chicago other than wanting to try and get some money.
Right.
Their place in Manchester at World Championships is fairly secure.
Yeah.
So they have no reason to go. So it just feels a bit icky. But as a good friend of mine said, is it any different to having a Patreon? And I don't know.
Yeah, you see, that is probably actually very, very similar. But patrons give something back. Are they giving something back? Are they giving something back to people who are helping them out?
Yeah, absolutely. You get a signed picture with them. You get 1/4 of their winnings, and you get to meet them for drinks after the event.
1/4 of the winnings?
Yeah. Sorry, I really needed to. Sarcasm doesn't really flow over Zoom, does it? No. You get absolutely nothing. You just get to feel good.
No, but I actually believed the other two. I actually thought the other two were genuine, and I'm thinking, is he really being genuine or sarcastic? Because I'm thinking, sign photo. Either that famous sign photo, meet for drinks afterwards. Talk a little bit about IROX, etc. Then he went 1/4 of the prize money. I'm thinking, it's only 4 people. They only want 4 people to go fund them. How much are they asking for?
I don't think it's a a massive amount. It's probably $1,000 all in, but you are right.
Why can't sponsors? This is talking. We're talking about a good athlete here, aren't we? We are talking about a good athlete.
We are talking, and I don't know why not sponsors. They do have lots and lots of followers on IG, and I guess the difference to Patreon is with Patreon you're contributing to content. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess you could argue that their content is their IG, although it is what it is. So yeah, I'm just so conflicted over this. I just don't know which way. You're deadly against it. You've already said, and
no,
I'm really conflicted.
Not deadly against it. I just think if you're wanting people to give you money, you've got to give something in return. And I will happily give money to people if I'm getting something in return. And even if I don't want it. So an example of this is Will Chung did a raffle for his charity, and the prize is a trip to WTM. I don't want the prize, but I could get something in return. So I've actually bought tickets. I bought tickets to his raffle. I could get something. I don't really want it, but I'm giving money to charity at the same time. I'm giving something to a good cause.
That's true. And on our Patreon, you do get stuff back. And some people have said one of the stuff that we give is membership to British Obstacle at a certain level. And at least one person has turned around to us and said, no, it's okay. I'll just sort myself out. And yeah, like you say, even if you don't want it, you can still contribute. But yeah, I don't listen on this. We've not done this for a while. Reach out to us. What raising money to fund your race and your hobby via GoFundMe, yay or nay? Let us know.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah,
I've got an IROTS question. Well, I've got two IROTS questions for you that have come in for you. I said I'd sneak them in without you knowing. Linda Johnson, ultra running or high rocks. I think this one was more for me, but running or high rocks to you?
Well, I'm better at running, but I honestly don't know. I think for the time being, high rocks type events, but never say never, because I'm eyeing up like Manchester 10K. I might do it if I can get a cheap ticket because it's fun. Can't see myself doing a marathon anytime soon, or definitely not an ultra. But yeah, probably in terms of training focus, probably high rocks. Alan, you've already said what you're currently focused on.
Ultra running. Mine is ultra running at the moment. But one of the reasons why I would have chose ultra running before was because I'm always about the mental game. And I thought ultra running is very much a mental game. You've got to set yourself a target and get from A to B. I never realised until this weekend how much of a mental game high rocks is.
Oh, very much so. There's, again, mild spoilers, but there's nothing gets you thinking, oh, I can't do this, then working out you still have, 60 meters left of a lunge with a weight that feels way too heavy for you.
It feels heavier than my own body weight.
Exactly. You don't realize, but yeah, you don't realize because you think it is just brute force and ignorance, which, to be fair, that could be our team name if we did a doubles at High Rocks.
Brute forcing. I like that. Brute force and ignorance. There's a catchphrase there somewhere.
I think there is. So was there another question?
And there was. So that was from Linda Johnson. And Mark Johnson comes up and says, is High Rocks the new version of OCR but cleaner?
I want to say kinda. In terms of how it has captured an audience, we've had these discussions. It's very much like either 2011 or 2015, depending when you want into OCR. It has captured an audience. It is very similar to OCR in that you have obstacles. I'm really biased at this because I have said all along that British obstacle sports should have spoken earlier with the High Rocks guys and seen, does it fit into OCR? No, it doesn't. But does it fit into obstacle sports? Yes, potentially, because you've got running and you've got what kind of is an obstacle.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, it probably is. And what I have, and actually, Alan, I'm going to tell you an anecdote. This Monday, my colleague at work, who I work closely with, came into the office as she does.
Yeah.
And the first thing she said to me is, "Oh, I need to talk to you about this thing. My brother-in-law went and did High Rocks this weekend."
Wow.
is not a sporty person. She kind of knows what I do, but wasn't aware that it was high rocks. The question is that the kind of thing that Jen does? Is it like a tough mudder?
Yeah.
And yeah, she spent a large portion of the day, and it was like, is there any others that he can do?
Oh, wow. And that's exactly what OCR is like, wasn't it, in the early days? So,
exactly. You'd come in and say, I did a tough mudder, or my friend did this pretty muddy thing.
Yeah. And then it would go from there. What else is there? What else is going? And we'd be constantly looking online. OCR buddy need to go now and put functional fitness buddy and create a link for it.
Shh, I've got that patent painted.
We just come up with all the ideas. We never patent pent anything.
No, we don't. Right? Should we? Unless you want to answer that question, I don't know.
No, for me, I think it's got its place. I think you talked earlier on about it in the seasons. I would probably like to see it going a little bit later than October and maybe go November to March. And then I think you would get all the OCR crowd going into it, because we look at October, maybe the first week in November is when OCR closes down. Nowadays, we don't get the winter events like we used to. And then I guess you've got McTuff in the winter, but then there's Nuts on the 4th of March. Those are your first real OCR events of the year. Take it right up till that date and, let's have 2 seasons. Let's have a functional fitness season and OCR season.
No, I agree. Quite what's interesting, I know people have said, we think that fitness racing is, I'm not going to say an opponent, but it's a risk to OCR. I don't see it like that because I see people who have come from functional fitness background who are suddenly doing OCRs off the back of doing a high rocks because they're looking for similar thrills.
We make friends at these events. You go to an event and I made 5 or 6 friends with people, that I'd never met before, got introduced to them and whatever. So they follow me now on IG and Facebook, and they see my pictures of doing OCR. So they come into the OCR scene, just like anyone who's in OCR goes to a functional fitness, they'll see that and go, oh, I like that. You know what I mean? So it's a cross-pollination. It goes backwards and forwards.
Yeah, I think it could be more of a risk to CrossFit in a way, to those people in CrossFit who can never do a handstand walk and are just put off by the technical nature of it. I think it could be maybe a risk to them, but CrossFit have got so many members, we probably don't care.
Yeah. I functional fitness, and that's not going to affect them, but great for us.
No, right. Should we just cover off a couple more fitness racing stuff? We can go over this quite quickly, to be fair. So we've DECA, which is Spartan, so I guess this is OCR.
Yeah.
We're aware that DECA Strong is happening on 25th of February, 2023, up in Clitheroe.
Sunny
Clitheroe. More tickets have been released. They may have sold out by the time I'm saying this, but more tickets have been released. Go on DECA Fit. You can find it on there now. The date has been released for DECA Mile. So on the 20th of May, 2023, again, up in Clitheroe, there's going to be a DECA Mile. You can't buy tickets yet. But what you can buy tickets for, if you're planning your summer holidays, is DECA Europe have announced 3 out of their 4 events.
Oh.
So DECA Europe, which is technically DECA Spain, but it's called DECA Europe, they are going to be in Malaga on the 24th of June.
For which one? Which DECA?
This is all of them. All these are trifectas.
Oh, so they're all trifecta week?
Yeah.
Wow.
In Spain, because we've got all the equipment, they're all trifecta weekends. So if you want a trifecta quickly, go and do this. And you can do a trifecta on the same day as well. So all 3. But so DECA Malaga on the 24th of June, DECA Madrid on the 29th of July, and DECA Tenerife in the Isle of Fernandos on the 18th of November.
Wow. When do you think we're going to get a sprint in the UK so we can have a trifecta in the UK?
You mean a DECA Fit?
Is it a DECA Fit? Sorry, a DECA Fit.
Yeah, well, it's the same distance as a sprint. Easy mistake to make. I don't know, but I'm aware that they're working on it. It's not a secret because it was on our podcast. Cross Training Clitheroe are working on it. So watch this space.
Cool. That's when I might do one.
Well, you could come to Madrid or Tenerife.
I don't go abroad, Ian. We need to. We have this coming. I don't do abroad. I'm a UK. That's why it's UKOCR, not abroad OCR.
But you're from Yorkshire. Yorkshire empties out to go to Spain every single year. Okay, it might be Benidorm, so but still,
Benidorm and Magaluf.
Benidorm, Magaluf, maybe a beef for young'uns. But yeah, right. Should we? We've kind of done a little bit of fitness racing. Should we do some OCR? Although it has been such a quiet week recently, which is why we've had to do a lot of high rock stuff.
Been a very quiet week. I think it's a lull, isn't it? Before the OCR kicks off, I guess on the 4th of March is when it's going to kick off. So it is a bit quiet. I did find a bit of news for us, though, a little bit out there. Nuclear. So nuclear races will go there first. On the 13th and 14th of May at Nuclear Rush, the rookies, so that's 9 to 14-year-olds, are going to get to play on the Travelator.
That's amazing. And watch them do incredibly well. A lot better than you and me would.
Much better than me and you. I haven't done Nuclear Travelator. I did it at Rat Race once, and I did it at Rough Runner. Was it Rough? No, not Rough Runner. Rat Race. Rat Race Men's Health used to have it. And I think I've done my men's health. I got up it several times, but once I'm sure they were turning up while I was running up it. I got halfway up it and then I seemed to be stopped in one place. And no matter how fast I ran, I just seemed to be stuck in that one place all the time. So I swear they were turning it up as I was going up it.
They probably knew who you were.
I think sometimes back then I could get away with no one knowing who I was. That's why the Muddy Duck was invented, so no one would ever know who I was. No,
that's true. That's true. Am I right in thinking, is it the Rat Race Travelator, formerly?
Yes, I think it is. Yeah, they bought it after Dirty Weekend, didn't they?
Yeah. So am I right in thinking that the technique, because we had a great debate about technique, didn't we? Well, we didn't. Who's Hot had a debate of technique. And isn't the technique for it is that you shouldn't try and sprint up it. What you need to do is get on it safely and then fight against the Travelator to get up. Yeah.
You don't need to take a 30, 40-yard run up. And this is what this gets me. I don't know if you've ever seen me go Everest, at Tough Mudder. But you get these people who take like a 20, 30-meter run up. I actually walk virtually right up to the base of Everest and then explode. Because to me, I just think I'm wasting time and energy in sprinting such a long distance. You just need to explode in that little bit. It's just that last bit of explosion. And I think that's what they were saying at the Travelator. They were saying there, you need to just get on it. And when you're on it, that's when you need to sprint, not sprint and then jump on it at the same time.
Which makes sense. And plus, you tend to have that little squidgy triangle, don't you, which will just absorb all of your power.
Yeah, that bottom little bit. Yeah, that's not good, that.
I really can't wait to see this. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be at Nuclear that weekend because May is such a busy time for me. But I wish all the best to the rookies in taking that up.
100%. I'm not going to be there because it's Farmyard Jam the week after, so we will be actually on site that weekend prepping and getting everything ready.
So is Farmyard Jam? Oh no! Don't tell me that Farmyard Jam is 20th of May.
Yeah, 19th and 20th of May.
When we've just given a date release for Decker Mile on 20th of May.
I know. Yeah, I know. It can't be helped, can it? We booked it. We've done it. We're not going to change our dates now. We can't. I think this is the biggest challenge, isn't it, with putting events on, is dates clashing. And especially now we're getting a crossover. We've got to look at two sites now and say, for me, I look at IROX and say, is there HYROX on? I've never looked at Decker and said, is there Decker on? Because Decker's not been to the forefront until it is this last month or so.
And to be fair, Decker Mile will probably only attract people in the local area anyway. And because it's I can see why people are going to Decker Strong because it's the first Decker in the UK. But I think that the mile will probably only attract people within the Northwest, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no idea. And further proof that you don't use this podcast as a vessel to just promote your own races.
Exactly. Yeah, not going to do that. Never will do that. We might sell every now and then, but not often.
Can I ask you something, though, Alan? This isn't
Yeah.
on the notes, but this weekend, are you in the pub?
On Friday, and in my pub, yes. On Friday, I'm in my pub, yes.
What about Saturday?
I'm not sure. Probably. I might go in Saturday afternoon. I don't know.
Because it's Six Nations.
Oh, yeah. So Six Nations, I definitely will be, yes. I was thinking why then, and I'm thinking, is there something going off? Yes, it is rugby season. I know it is rugby season. We've got a New England manager, I'm interested to see how we do. He's brought some old people back. I want to say old people, some old heads back. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We've got a whole new team. And I'm more interested in the development. Do I think we're going to win the Six Nations? I don't think we are. My honest opinion is I don't think we are. I think Wales and Ireland are still going to be strong enough to potentially take it from us. But I want to see if we can have some close games with them. We need the close games with them. Ireland's right at the top of their game at the minute. If we can get close to Ireland, I think it's going to lead us into the World Cup next year.
Yeah, I guess that's the weird thing about Six Nations, isn't it? That it's every year. So I'm not going to say it doesn't matter. It definitely does matter. But recently, it's become more about preparing for the big show.
It is. I mean, we're building. England's building at this moment in time. I don't think anyone's going to deny that. And France have got an amazing team at this moment in time. So don't rule France out for the Six Nations. We've got some amazing games.
Do you reckon Italy will ever win it?
That's a good question. Do Italy, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, do Italy currently belong in Tier 1 rugby? I'm not sure they do.
No, I've always wondered, Georgia seems to be better than them and would probably give better games.
Yeah. And this is my thought, is that, they are up there, but they're on the border. And I think other teams should be given a little chance in Tier 1.
Maybe there should be relegation in Six Nations.
Well, I think that was discussed a long time ago, wasn't it? When Italy actually joined, I think that was discussed back then. Should there be relegations and promotions?
Maybe not directly, but maybe whoever finishes with wooden spoon then plays a playoff against someone else.
Yeah, a two-leg playoff, home and away. That would give you a proper... And then it actually create more revenue for the lower teams in theory as well. If I say lower team, it might not be Italy who always finish there. It can be someone else. You can have a bad string of results. Hopefully, it's not going to be England this year. You can have a bad string of results, and you can finish down there. But then you could have a playoff and create more revenue for them two clubs.
Well, yeah, and so it would be Georgia and a few other European developing nations. They could almost have a four nations or something to determine who has playoff.
Yeah, I like that idea, Ed. I'd patent that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll patent it. Right, back to OCR.
Back to OCR. A race is coming back. And it's not in England.
Okay, what's coming back?
It's in Scotland, Aberdeenshire. The Beast race is back on the 23rd of September 2023. 10K obstacle race. Now, I don't know this was sold off years ago, but I think the guy's name who did it was somebody Donovan, if I remember rightly, and his partner were really well known in the Scottish. There was really well known in the Scottish OCR season. Yeah, Sphere, and they put on a great race, and they was one of the first people to have a proper rig. If I went back to 2016, 2017, they were putting proper rigs on back then, and up in Scotland, it wasn't seen at races. But it's been sold, and it's coming back. Okay, so my sources tell me.
I thought Beast race was run last year.
No, the Beast race back last year. It wasn't back last year, was it?
I hope. Well, I'm currently looking at photos from 24th September 2022 on their Facebook page, and they were running, but maybe they've just re-announced tickets or something.
Well, it's the first time it's come up on my screen, so I do apologise. Oh, right. It's at the same place, not Burnlock.
Yeah.
10K obstacle race.
So it's not bad, but it's actively promoting for more people to come, so go and do it.
Yeah. The beastliest obstacle race in Scotland, apparently.
The beastliest obstacle race in Scotland.
Yeah. So I thought it was bad. I didn't see it last year. We never mentioned it last year. And we
did a terrible job.
We purposely look for Scottish races, don't we?
We do, but I think it was because it was in September. We just had so much going on around then. But it just, I only knew it because someone asked about it on the Discord and said, you know what, is anyone, can anyone do the beast? And I started talking to them like it was a Spartan beast.
Right.
And then our good friend Graham was like, no, he doesn't mean that. He means this.
Yeah, it's a beast race, but it's only 10K.
It's a beast race. That's 10K. So, yeah, it's very, very much. I am scrolling down because I can't find it off the top of my head. Is he part of the Scottish series?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
So it probably should be. But then again, it might not do time chips.
Yeah. Maybe they've not reached out to him. Maybe it's, or maybe the Scottish series have, but the beast race have said no. I don't know. That would be down to them, wouldn't it? We
just cover that one. It's quite. I quite like the Scottish series. Absolutely zero work on our behalf.
Zero. We just don't promote it. It's good. It's good. I enjoy it.
Yeah, we just promote it. Right. Yeah. So, what's the Raw Fit Step Challenge?
Raw Fit Step Challenge. Now I need to go into my phone because I have. I did take a picture of this, so just 1 second. Let me go and do this. So Raw Fit. We know Rick Burgess all the way down there in Hastings. I want to say Hastings. I think it's Hastings, just outside Hastings somewhere on the south coast. Anyway, he's doing a step challenge throughout the year. So round 2 begins. So it's round 2, which started today. Do you want to do 7,000, 10,000, or 12,000 steps a day for the whole month? Entry fee £12, and if you do it, you get a medal. You actually get a medal from them, and they're actually quite good medals from RawFit. So it looks like Rick and his team are doing very much a whole series of virtual challenges.
A whole series? You know what? That's actually, that gets me thinking. Do you remember when we had to do virtual races during lockdown, during all that?
Yep.
So many events like Tough Mudder said, the Tough Mudder challenges are going to be part of our ecosystem going forward. They've all disappeared other than Rick.
Yeah, I think they don't need to put them on anymore, so they've let them go by the sidelines. I do think there's a market for it. I do think that if they'd have kept it up, there would have been a market for it, especially Tough Mudder. But how much money have people got? That's the question, isn't it? Would you sooner give money to actually go and race, or would you give money to virtual races? With Rick's, we're talking £12.
Yeah, that's true. If I remember rightly, with the Tough Mudders, was it like £100 for all 6 or £30 for one or something daft like that?
Yeah, I think it was about £30 each. And then you're talking like, well, if I do 2, it's 60 quid, 3, it's 90 quid. Do I really want to be spending all that money when I can do 3 virtuals? I can go to 1 Tough Mudder. Oh, well, actually, 2 virtuals, you can go to 1 Tough Mudder because it's 60 quid if you book early.
Yeah. Whereas, and plus with Rick's, you're helping out as well, aren't you?
Yeah, because it's all in aid of charity. It's all is it Mind? I'm sure Rick's charity is Mind, if I remember rightly. So I don't know how much goes to it, but I know he does a lot for Mind, for the mental health. So yeah, he's it's really, really good in that size. I haven't clicked on the tickets, but.
And this is for quality research that people listen to the show for.
Yeah. I'm right in saying it's East Sussex. I have got the East Sussex.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So look that up. And like I say, if 12 quid going to charity, definitely. Yeah. In terms of other things, I think we announced this last week, but probably need to announce it again about the British Obstacle Sports UK Champs.
Registration's open, £85. Currently £85. If you're a British Obstacle Sports member, I think there's a £10 off as well. So,
wow. So,
go on.
Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say, but one thing that I have noticed, if you register now for the Open Wave and you qualify for the Elite or AG, I have read on British Obstacle Sports that they will automatically upgrade you. So get your entries in early.
Get your entries in early, support British Obstacle. And yeah, join if you've not already, which reminds me, mine probably now is well and truly lapsed, so I probably should get on that. I'm going to get kicked out of a group.
No, we won't get kicked. Well, you might do, I won't. Mine's not elapsed. I don't think it has. James, I've got James on speed dial. He'll tell me when mine's elapsed.
Yeah, I don't have that same kind of relationship with pretty much anyone. So yeah, I'll just find out one day when I go on Facebook and can't access anything.
I've got visions now. Whilst we're recording, as James is listening to this now, he will be Googling to text you a message to tell you when yours expires.
Hey,
He's so on the ball. He's so on the ball.
Hey, James, you shouldn't really be doing that. But yeah, if mine's lapsed, let me know. I'll send money. Maybe.
We'll send money.
Maybe I should join our Patreon. Oh, God, someone's probably drinking Patreon members. But if I join our own Patreon, we eventually pay for a membership, don't we?
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? So we join our own Patreons and then that's just more money we're throwing into it. But
hey, no wrong.
Let's
no wrong with it.
It increases our Patreons.
Exactly. And then we get early access. This is the segue I was going. Then you get early access to shows.
Well, this is a new thing, isn't it, for all our Patreon members, that they will get early access to virtually every show going forward is our aim. However, some might be, shall we say, 6 hours early access or 12 hours early access, whereas others might be days early access. Who's Up that came out on Wednesday, they had a 6-day early access on that. Swift Half is going to be usually 24, or the aim is to try and get 24 hours on the Swift Half. So listen to it on a Thursday rather than a Friday if you're a Patreon.
We need to be careful then with some of the news we release going forward, don't we?
Oh, valid point. I never even thought about
that. Because, of course, sometimes we get stuff that's embargoed till Friday.
Yeah, we'll have to be careful.
Tell you what, if you're listening on the Patreon, you're also embargoed.
Till Friday. Yeah.
Till Friday. Yeah. There we go. But I'm sure that covers us from a legal point of view. So if you listen to this before Friday, anything you hear is embargoed.
Yeah. Until Friday.
There we go. Perfect. I've solved the problem. That's why you have a lawyer on the show.
It is.
You've got Gladiators on here. I think this is our last note. I told you it was quiet. Gladiators,
BBC have opened up applications for Gladiators. I shared this on our UKOCR Facebook group. So there's a little video on there. Contenders ready, Gladiators ready. Yes. Do you want to be on Gladiators? Send in your application.
I've actually noticed our Facebook, you're doing an excellent job. I fell by the wayside recently on the Facebook page for various reasons, mainly because we appear to be recording 6 gazillion podcasts at the moment. It's been so busy. It's weird. OCR has, it's currently on pause, but we've got so many things ongoing that, I've been super busy. But you're doing such a good job on the Facebook page at the moment.
Well, it's not just me. We've got a couple other people who are posting as well. That some of our team are helping out here. So a big thank you to all of them. I'm not going to name them because I don't know if they want to be named. So I'm not going to name them. But big thank you to everyone. You know who you are. Keep up the work for us. Speaking
of things we have on the go, though, excellent segue, something not on the notes. If you want to get tickets to the UK, not to UKOCR, to the Obstacle Racing Awards, it's not branded by us. It is just the Obstacle Racing Awards that we currently host and are the caretakers of. I think you need to do it this weekend.
Yeah, get in touch with us, especially Payne. Got to admit, we've had a few dropouts, so we have got some spare places at this moment in time. A few people have dropped out this week. To inform me. If you haven't paid, reach out to me. I will happily wait a little bit longer for payment. I'm not wanting pay, but I need confirmation that you're going. We do need to give numbers out in the next 10 days to the hotel for meals and things like that. So get in touch with me. If you've not filled the form, check your junk mail first of all, because everyone I have sent emails to, it's in the junk mail. And I've actually sent personal direct messages to people today on Facebook, just to remind them, and that, a lot of people have put it, I thought I'd paid, Alan. Thank you for reminding me, blah, 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 blah. There we go. We're all ready and raring to go, Ian. The only people who haven't really booked their tickets yet, Ian, do you know who they are?
Who are they?
There are 2 people who haven't booked their tickets yet.
Who?
Me and you.
Oops. That's a good point. Well, Alan, tell you what, just tell us your credit card details and your security number and expiry now, and I'll sort it out.
Yeah. Have you got a pen and piece of paper with you?
So I've been listening to Scamfluencers. Yeah, I think it's meant to dissuade you, but it's giving ideas.
Ian, we ran out of notes, and actually, we're actually bang on time because as soon as I hung up with you, as soon as I leave you in the pub, I am actually recording with Monday's guest.
You are indeed. And listener, just to confirm, I'm not going around scamming people. That was just a joke between me and Alan, just to confirm. I'm sure I know you were. Right, Alan, on that note then, should I say it's a goodbye from me?
Thank you, Ian, and it's a goodbye from me. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Love you all. Bye.